The reason that black people in America are together is because of discrimination. If it wasn't for discrimination, there's no need for a black to deal with a black other than if you're on the same economic level or social level or so forth. Because black isn't positive or negative. It's just a color. If you deal with the history of how blacks got here, the splitting up of families purposely, the different tribes, different languages, different customs. Africa is not like one country and one people. Africa is many people, many customs, many traditions. It starts with not having any true culture, no grandfather to tell you what you are. I am Igbo. Igbo is this. You know, in the Jewish culture, you are Jewish, we do this. We have been merchants for many years. We must protect each other. The world have ostracized us. You have this responsibility to deal with. We don't get that, okay? So we start with that. Then we start with the technique of brainwashing that's perpetuated on us. I mean, the brainwashing technique was so bad until we had cultures within cultures. We had light-skinned black people that didn't want to associate with black people. We had colleges in the South that were black colleges that you had to send a picture to. And if you didn't have what they call good hair and light skin, you couldn't be enrolled in that college. So within our own group, there was this whole thing about being light and black and all of these different things. So to get rid of all of that and have television show you these blue-eyed blondes and wonderful-looking curly-headed men, and then you don't look that way. And then you get a chance to play some football, and they give you a little shot and give you a little money and maybe give you one of those girls, and you really think you're living, you know. And I mean, you don't want to care about anybody else. You just want to be out there and enjoy that stuff because you've been given an entree level that's not on the top, but at least you're kind of in the ball game. So there's a lot of things to fight to bring about the kind of unity that I'm talking about and the economic support that blacks need, you know, to give each other in order to emerge as a viable part of the society. The other cultures will use the principles, they understand the principles, they set their goals, and they pursue those goals. They achieve the first one, they set out on the second one. And in blacks, we do great things, you know, and flashy things, and we have great athletes and great musicians. But then we're basically controlled by other cultures. And for example, the black superstar today, to me, is a 1984 Uncle Tom. Because while he's trying to get another contract for an additional $1 million, he's represented totally by white people. So he's not reaching back and bringing in any black lawyers or black accountants or black managers. He's just so happy to be considered an idol within the society. He doesn't understand that in 10 years, all that will happen is that will be broken, and he wouldn't have created anything that would be lasting for his kids or his grandchildren. So until we understand the principle that every other culture seems to understand, we're always going to have to ask someone to do something for us. Well, the change has to come almost as a political one. Our political leaders has to understand economics better. Let's say that if Jesse Jackson had joined forces with the blacks in Hollywood 10 years ago and raised $100 million, then we would be in the film business right now. In other words, you can't do it the same way. It has to be almost a political movement. It has to catch the conscience of the people. It has to be pointed out by our black leaders. It has to be backed by our black leaders. And we could make that entree because then the studios could not afford to keep us out. So if we're going to go about it that way, then we need the support of the Jesse Jacksons and the various mayors of the major cities. And we can raise enough money to lose 10 times and win 3 times and stay in business. You see, the home run concept is that as a black, you must come in with roots the first time. The second time, you must come in with something like roots, which means every time you come to bat, you hit a home run. That's not realistic business. What you've got to do is start out, develop the funds, enough funds, so that you can make 5, 6, 10, 15 movies and take your shot. Because anybody in the movie business knows that every movie is not going to be a hit. But yet as black people, they tell us that, well, it's not going to make money, and you got one shot, and if that fails, then it's going to put black people back for 30 years. Well, that doesn't happen in business. We're just being fooled. You know, that's ridiculous.